Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am once again Random Gamer Riven, and today we have a special Randomised Gaming Christmas special idea, and this was a conjunction of me and Random Gamer Dragoon working together, and he may be doing some voiceovers on the later parts of this series as we do the 12 games of Christmas, a slight play on the 12 days of Christmas. I say 12 games of Christmas, it might actually be the 12-ish games of Christmas, depending how many we do. We may do a few less, we may do a few more. But seeing as it's Christmas week this week, we here at Randomised Gaming have decided to take a look at some of those games that remind us of the Christmas spirit over the Christmas holiday. So we've taken a selection of games. Now, they don't have to be Christmas themed games, there's not that many are actually directly Christmas themed, but games that, you know, have things like snow and all those cliches like ice levels and all those classic things from Mario 64 to Sonic 3. You get the idea. They've all had those very snow themed levels, or just the music, the sound that helps you, really gives you a feel of Christmas. We can't all have games like Christmas Nights which are really, really heavily Christmas vibe, but you know what, we thought we'd look at a few games that really helped us ring in the Christmas spirit and explain why we like them so much. So, seeing as it's the Christmas time of that year, the first game we decided to look at is none other than Steep Slope Sliders, which is a snowboarding game on the Sega Saturn. Now, I don't need to say why it reminds us of Christmas. Snow, lots of it. That and the fact the ice cold feel of this cool snowboarding game. It was the only Sega Saturn snowboarding game to be released in all three territories. There were a few others. Zap Snowboarding Tricks got released, and I think there was might have been another one, but basically this was the only one released in all three regions. So what makes Steep Slope Sliders so special? Well, it's just a fantastic game. It was done partly by Victor and none other than Cave, who are best well known for all their shooting games, and it's basically a fantastic snowboarding game. There's no doubt about it. From the jumps to the tricks, this is everything, and a whole selection of courses. It's got an array of tracks that some tracks are geared more towards tricks and some tracks are geared more towards time attack and just skiing fast, and that's what this game's all about. This game is all about hitting the snow. Granted, it doesn't have a two-player mode, but that's really the only downside I can ever think. It was a great game and a really arcade feel. In fact, it was actually a game made... It was so arcadey that Cave actually then subsequently released a version in the arcade. Yes, this is one game where the home console version came out first, the arcade version came out later. So, as you can see here, it's just a great, stunningly looking Saturn game. Okay, graphics 3D wise a little bit dated now, but it just plays so smoothly. And there's a huge variety of tracks. It's also a really nice game in the fact that it actually uses day-night progression. Now, there's actually two modes. One, you can just use a cheat code to enter the daytime, or it also has a daytime progression clock based on the Saturn's own internal clock, where if you have that mode on, depending of the time of day and the location of the world the courses are set on, depends on at what time it's daylight. So when it's nighttime in Russia, the Russian tracks are in nighttime. When it's daytime in the US tracks are in day, sunset, etc. You get the whole idea. It's actually a really nice feature that not too many games used at that point. And it's got a real colourful cast of characters. There's a huge array of characters in Steep Slope Sliders. Everything from, you know, the generic sort of player characters, but there's a whole host of secret characters to unlock that really add a real feel. On top of that, there's even a few secret stages as well, largely set in space and in space stations. In fact, this is one of the bizarre games. You can actually have a dog snowboarding down the Death Star Trench. Yes. Well, the artificial valley it's called looks an awful lot like it. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's based on it. There's even some cool stages on an asteroid belt, and an even nice one and actually a stunt trick stage set in the future, sort of like a digital world where you see from all the pixel tricks showing off just now, is actually really fun to play. It's also got some slow motion effects on this way, so if you fancy doing some tricks in a slightly different way, this is the stage to do it on. There's even one set in the South Pole, and there is a huge array of characters. Everything from the very standard traditional style races to some of the more off-the-wall ones. Like I said, a dog on a snowboard. There's a character who clearly heavily inspired by the Marvel superheroes, the Silver Surfer. And we've got a whole host of anime girls, down to a penguin, and even a jet fighter that appears to be a little homage to Cave's other favourite genres, and even a bizarre 2D sprite character that I believe may be someone's mascot or something. The name I saw was Purra, but yes, he's a weird, see a nice little digital thing. Paper Mario, eat your heart out with this guy. It's a bright, beautiful, colourful game that really works and plays well. I mean, it's still great fun to play, and it's got a great soundtrack as well. The only thing I've done is slightly made sure I haven't got any footage of any of the singing tracks. Although ironically, one of the singing tracks is called Hold Me Cross, yet the song is singing Hold Me Close for the added hilarity. And there's also this fantastic message when you start up. Yes, as you can read there, it's just off the wall crazy. Just the words, "You will die," if you try and imitate this, which is just mad, mad, mad. Right, I'm not actually sure if that's in the European version. I don't know if they cut it out. In case you're wondering, this footage actually captured from the Japanese release, but we had the European and the Japanese release. There's a few slight changes. Notice the loading screen, but that's a little interesting thing. I think the loading screen, the original Japanese version, uses some symbols that could be eschewed as to be religious symbols, and I think that's why they were removed. But it's a very, very fast action, fast-paced snowboarding game. As you can see, just racing down, whether it's night or day, and it's just a great course game. And there aren't many games where you can say you can play as a snowboarding dog and be chased by another dog. Yes, there's even a little dog chasing you at one point. Really adds to the sort of whole world. You've got moving objects as well on each stage, from trains and even the car on one stage that drives right in front of you. Gives it a real feel as you race down. In fact, the only game that could even I always felt could really rival Steep Slope Sliders was the superb 1080 Avalanche. And no, I'm not going to have any footage of that because I would just get constant content matches from all the lovely lyrical song they used in that. Yes, this is what happens with YouTube when you have all those lovely bands singing. You get constant matches. So unfortunately I can't do any footage of 1080, but it's 1080 Avalanche, but it's a really great game and vastly better than the original 1080. Now I know there'll be fans of Cool Borders and SFX, but I've always felt that Steep Slope Sliders was a game that was better than all of them. And interestingly, although it never officially got a sequel, the developers did actually work on a subsequent game. So effectively it got a sequel, but it didn't use the Steep Slope Sliders name. The game really the sequel was roughly known as Tricks and Snowboarding, which was not a very catchy name, and it was only released on the PlayStation, and because it didn't carry the name Steep Slope Sliders 2, no one realised it was actually related in any way, shape or form, which is always the problem if you change format with your exclusive games. As Steep Slope Sliders is of course a Sega Saturn exclusive, and a very worthy title it is too. So there's plenty of snow here, plenty of fun, a whole variety of characters that is well worth investing in. If you fancy some good cheap fun, it's as well worth it. It doesn't cost a lot, and while the game doesn't take that long to unlock everything, you know there's plenty here. The whole variety of secret characters gives it a real great feel. The only secret character I still can't seem to find, and maybe he's tucked in there somewhere, is Santa Claus and perhaps the kitchen sink. If you've enjoyed this, let us know. Please like us so we can get some more views and, well, get bumped up high in the ratings. And if you've got suggestions for other games you'd like us to cover over the Christmas period, please let us know. We will be doing a hit list and a few more up and coming videos, but you've got about the midweek tops before we finish doing all our video production. So if you want to get a suggestion for what you like to play and explain why you like it over the Christmas period, let us know in the comments or tweet us or leave a message on the blog and we'll get back to you. This is me, Random Gamer Riven, signing off for now.